What's up, guys? Tanner and Sam here, a part of Below Average Nerds, and we are doing our E3 wrap-up podcast. Sam, how you doing?
I'm doing splendid. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. It's crazy that E3's over. Like, at the time of this recording, it's been over for 30 minutes, so.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, it just flew by this year. I feel like it kind of drags towards the end, but it just flew by all 5 days, really, this year.
It began and then ended.
Yeah. So, I guess what we're going to do is we're just going to go over some of our personal high points and low points of the convention as a whole and kind of, commentate and just talk about it, pretty much. It's a wrap-up show. We're not going to cover everything, because we already have like 3 different podcasts talking about E3, and this is number 4. So, Sam, what was a high point of E3 2015 for you?
Let's start with really how this whole shebang got started. Nintendo World Championships.
Yes.
I call that a high point. It was a fun event that really kicked off E3 in the right direction. Yeah, I thought that was really cool of them to bring it back, and they executed it pretty darn well outside of Blast Ball.
Oh, God, yeah, you're right.
So, did you enjoy the World Championship?
I loved the World Championship. I thought it was fun. I didn't feel like it, because, it was 3.5 hours, give or take a few minutes. It did not feel 3.5 hours. Like, it just flew by. So, I thought it was just a bucket load of fun, and I couldn't think of a better way to spend 3 hours on Sunday night. That's a wrestling joke for the crossover audience.
I didn't even get it, and I'm the audience.
Yeah, you are my wrestling audience.
And I really liked how they showed off Super Mario Maker,
yes,
which was hot, which I almost gave a high point, but I thought, hey, I can wrap it all up in Nintendo World Championships and cheat a little bit.
Yeah, which is fair.
Because that whole ending they did, which felt like it lasted for at least an hour.
I think it was just about.
Well, then, okay, good. So I wasn't lying to myself. It lasted like an hour, and it was awesome the whole time, because Super Mario Maker has some zany possibilities with level design.
Mm-hmm. I love how those levels are coming preloaded with the game. So
it's gonna be crazy to watch people try to speedrun those levels.
I just think within a week or two, people will be able to 20-second runs or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it was a lot of the fun was just seeing these people react to not knowing what was going beyond the next corner, which I really loved. They were just like, "Oh crap, gotta start back over." Didn't see that giant Bowser just gonna stand there.
Yeah. Oh, 3 Bowsers stacked on top of each other. What a novel concept. Yeah, I just feel the same way.
So yeah, that was my high. What's your first high?
I would label my first high as probably, I loved all the third-party conferences this year, or the new third-party conferences, so Bethesda and Square Enix, because I thought they both had very good showings, and I really hope it encourages developers to be like, why don't we just do why would we show this at Sony when people are hyped for E3 anyways, and they'll watch us? Because, and Bethesda, they came firing. They had Fallout 4. They had Doom. They released a fun mobile game, an actually fun mobile game. And then Square Enix, Nier 2 with Platinum. You had Kingdom Hearts 3 there. You had Star Ocean 5. So, I just thought those 2 conferences should be what third parties should be doing instead of relying on Sony and Microsoft to showcase their games.
Yeah, I like that change of pace.
Yeah.
I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was honestly one of the highlights of our whole shebang, I guess. And then Bethesda obviously killing it pretty early.
Yeah. And then, Fallout 4 with the release date this year was kind of like an icing on that cake.
It tasted so good.
Pre-ordered it today.
What's the pre-order bonus, since I'm assuming in this day and age that you have to have one?
I don't think there is one. I think the fact that it's Fallout 4.
I don't...
There wasn't one today. I was not...
That's interesting.
I pre-ordered 4 games today, and only one of them had a pre-order bonus announced.
Wow.
So,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Usually,
and it was One Piece.
One Piece.
Yeah.
When's One Piece coming out?
August 23rd.
August 23rd.
Third, I think. That's not, which is a Sunday, which sounds weird now.
So maybe you're wrong. Maybe you're dead.
I don't know.
So you look that up.
Come back to me on that. And what did you think of the like the third parties this year? Mainly Bethesda.
The new third parties.
New third parties.
The other third party. But Square was all right. Square was all right. Wasn't my favorite, but they obviously had the game that a lot of us were waiting to see. And
August 25th. The day.
25th. That makes some more sense. And then Bethesda, I guess another game that everyone wanted to see more of. So, yeah. And then you got Doom, and then you throw in Dishonored 2 trailer. So, a lot going for Bethesda's conference. And then, obviously, Kingdom Hearts 3 is really what you want to see.
Yeah.
You were just happy with that.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, that literally could have been all that Bethesda or Square Enix showed. I'd been like, sweet. Just like happy with it.
I wish they showed something a little different with Final Fantasy VII. Because they just showed the same trailer that they showed at the Sony press conference. So,
which shows just how early in development it is.
Just give me a little, like, 10 extra seconds of CGI.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Final Fantasy VII at 2 more E3s before it comes out.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I
think it would
be
be
3.
Well, that's a lot of E3s.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
I don't even know if they show it next year.
Which is a strong possibility. What comes out first? Shenmue 3, The Last Guardian, or Final Fantasy VII Remake?
The Last Guardian.
Yeah, I agree. I would say The Last Guardian comes out first, and I would say Final Fantasy VII Remake comes out second.
It's a bold prediction.
I think Shenmue 3 is way off in the distance. Like 4 or 5 years.
People ain't gonna even care.
I know. Or, hear me out. Last game came out in 2001. Shenmue 2 came out in 2001. 2021, Shenmue 3.
6 years.
6 years from now.
Yeah, I can't do this. I can't do this game anymore.
Well, to be fair, they don't have anything done for it yet.
True.
And, I mean, obviously, the reason they did the Kickstarter was to gauge interest. So, who knows? We'll see where we go.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm curious if it even happens.
It's going to be I think it happens.
I mean, I hope it does, just for people.
Why wouldn't it?
I don't. Well, I mean, they're saying they're basing interest off the Kickstarter. Okay. Like, say if the Kickstarter ended with 120,000 backers, which I think it would probably easily get past that, but let's just assume 120,000 backers. I mean, all 120,000 of those backers are probably your 120,000 biggest fans, which are getting the game through Kickstarter for free, essentially for free, parentheses. Where does that leave your rest of your consumer base?
They don't essentially get it for free, but
I mean, they don't get it for free, yeah, but I mean, all the money that goes into the Kickstarter directly goes into production of the game. So you can't really see that as a net gain.
Does it?
You gotta assume a lot of it does.
I mean, depends on how you're splitting it, I guess.
I mean, I'm sure some of it will probably be, distributed for other things, but you have to assume a large percentage goes to production.
Again, it depends really how you look at it. If you want to view it as it takes a slice off the top for Sony and them, that's one way to look at it. Or you can view it as a large amount of pre-orders, or you can view it as an investment for free, which that would be the last option for me. That seems like a weirder way of viewing it in my book.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, hey, you can either view it as pre-orders or you can view it as off the top stuff, because a lot of this stuff was going to probably already be in the game.
True. All right, so just moving on. What was a low point for you, like the bottom of the barrel? Because I think we're going to share this first one.
Yeah, let's talk about the Nintendo digital event.
I don't want to.
Let's talk about it.
I don't want to. It wasn't necessarily the worst conference Nintendo has ever had, because they did show some cool stuff. I'm mainly talking about Fire Emblem.
In the Animal Crossing game that they showed, which people felt real trolled over, is going to be free to play.
Why did you not announce that during your conference?
I don't know. Nintendo's Nintendo.
Well, you have to think, it's not going to be free to play, because you have to have an amiibo to play. And if you want 4 players to play, that's 4 amiibo at $13 a pop, which is $52. And then you add, just say, for my, it's like 9% tax, which is like $4 and something. So you're essentially paying for a full game if you want to play with 4 players.
So, this sounds a whole lot like what I was referencing earlier on the Nintendo podcast, that this game is an easy game for them to make some amiibo money on.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see, is it just going to be those 8 Animal Crossing amiibo that are compatible with it? Or, can King DDD come bust up in that bitch?
Does it matter?
Kind of, because then you're forcing people to buy new amiibo to play this game. Whereas, people already have amiibo.
That's fair. But,
at least make the bigger ones playable in the game, like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Bowser, Kirby, Link, them. You don't have to make the farther off characters like Ness or the Fire Emblem guys or anything.
Go big or go home. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if Super Mario Maker has all those skins in it for every amiibo, why can't Animal Crossing?
Because they're charging it for that game.
True.
That's why.
They did. They charged me for it. I pre-ordered that today as well.
How much is that?
They charged me $60. I hope I get some money back.
I'm really proud of you, because I don't understand how you pre-order games in the South. I really don't.
What do you mean?
Because when I go to a GameStop and I pre-order a game, I give them $5. They hold it for me. And then I pay the rest off.
I do it in chunks. Shoot me now, not later. So Nintendo's digital event was not good.
But in theory, you could still end up paying $60 for this game.
For Super Mario Maker?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Best case scenario, they're like, oh, this is a $40 title, and I get $20 back.
What if they fuck up? What if they fuck up, and then you just don't get $20 back?
If Nintendo or GameStop?
GameStop.
GameStop's going to give me my money back.
Has this happened before?
Yeah. It happened with when Last of Us came out. I pre-ordered it for $60, and it was a $50 title, and I got my money back. Same thing with Final Fantasy Type 0 HD.
I also don't understand spending that much money right now, but that's just me.
Well,
so, what's the next thing?
Talking about the digital event?
Sure.
It was dumb.
Okay.
Skyforce Heroes was a huge troll to Zelda fans. Animal Crossing...
It wasn't that big of a troll.
It wasn't, but it was.
I mean, it was if you're silly and you were thinking that they're going to show us something like the core Zelda.
Well, I mean, why show... I just don't see how they can whip up this Zelda together and then not show Zelda Wii U, but then Miyamoto having the balls to say in an interview, oh yeah, we have a ton of footage to show, but we just didn't.
That's my favorite part, though. That was my favorite part when he said that.
Seriously? And then, Reggie said during the digital event, he's like, if you want to hear about the new Nintendo hardware, or whatever they called it, codename NX, quality of life, or mobile games, wait till 2016. Well, what the hell does that tell me what their 2016 press conference is going to be about? New hardware, new software, and quality of life stuff.
That's a lot.
I'm not digging it. And then, I'm not excited for Nintendo PR, when they announced that Zelda Wii U is going to be a launch title for the NX.
I'm so excited for that moment.
Look, I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, so it won't affect me as much, but good lord.
I bet it's going to be a launch game / it'll still appear on the Wii.
Oh yeah, I think it'll still be on the Wii. It's going to be like Twilight Princess. You know, it was on the GameCube and it was a launch title for the Wii. I think the same thing's going to happen here.
Yep.
Which is going to tick some people off.
Why is it going to take people off?
Because then they're going to be like, oh, why would I play an inferior version of the game? I don't know anybody that played Twilight Princess on the GameCube.
Oh, I did.
I didn't. So everybody I knew that played Twilight Princess played on the Wii. They bought a Wii for Twilight Princess.
Why is that the inferior version?
Because one's a GameCube, one's the Wii.
But I don't get how that makes it inferior.
Because
I don't know if you
it's running on less powerful hardware.
Like, not that much.
Not that much, but also you have to look, the Wii version didn't have the motion controls, which at the time was a fun and novel concept people wanted to do.
That must have been one of the weirder ways I could have seen people playing Zelda.
Oh.
I don't know.
It happened. Like I said, I didn't play it. The only Zelda I've played is Wind Waker HD and Hyrule Warriors, which isn't even canon.
Wind Waker, what a game.
Wind Waker's a good game.
It is. So, what's whose turn is it for? We're doing the high point next, right?
Yeah, we're doing the high point. I guess I'll go for high point since we both kind of piggybacked off that low point. Another high point for me of the conference was just I want to single out this game. It's one particular game. And I think you may actually feel the same about it as me, and that's Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes. I had mine all packaged, where I packaged Horizons with Recore as both new original IPs from the two big players.
Which is fair, but Horizons just stood out.
I understand. No, Horizons is a mind-blowing sort of game from the get-go.
Yeah, and the fact that, I mean, we have to assume that what they showed was gameplay. With
yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had to be gameplay, and oh goodness gracious, it just looks so good. Like, I can't explain it. I think I have explained it. It's pretty much take an open world, like a fully open world, throw in some Monster Hunter elements, and then throw in some giant robot dinosaurs. Like, what is there not to love? That's like a game I would have came up with when I was 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna guess by their themes they're hitting, there's gonna be some good story in that game as well, which I think should not be overlooked. They have someone from The Witcher who created quests for The Witcher.
Who created the Bloody Baron quest, which is probably one of the best quests in the game.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna take your word for it since it's probably true.
It is.
Oh, which I think is pretty awesome because Guerrilla's not. Again, they're the Killzone studio. You don't expect them to be pumping out these strong narrative games, but if they can get some high-quality quests in their first open-world RPG, that'd be kind of nuts.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to see what they show. I imagine it's going to be a holiday 2016 title. I imagine that may be one of Sony's showcase games next year.
Yeah.
If I was them, I would put that game on a silver platter. Because that game's going to sell like hotcakes if it's, marketed right.
And that looked like the game that they had the best chance of pumping out there in 2016. Mm-hmm.
So
all the other games, not sure about.
Yeah. I guess you can go ahead and go with your Recore since I kind of touched on another one of your points.
Yeah, Recore, the other new original IP from Microsoft. Worked on by Inafune and the people behind Metroid Prime series. So I'm really looking forward to what they can do together. That's going to be a heck of an experience just by the concept being with these cores, hence name Recore, where you have your buddy pal with this blue core that you can shove into other robots, I assume, and control them.
So Recore your robot.
Yeah. What a name.
The only thing, the name's a little awkward to say, just because it's Recore. Like, I feel like I should say recorded every time I see it, but it's not. So it will probably, stick to me. But for now,
you're crazy.
It's a weird word.
You're crazy, man.
Is record not a weird word?
I don't find it weird.
Oh, okay, well, you're from New York.
I say record. Seems pretty simple, Tanner.
It just sounds weird. Well, it doesn't sound weird, but it just feels weird to say.
But we didn't get any gameplay or anything like that. Yeah. But it's still the concept alone is already selling me on it.
Yeah, I think that was the first game we saw at E3 where I was like, "Yeah, that's a 2017 game." I wish it would come out next year because it did look, good, like a cool concept from what we saw, and so I'm sure we'll see more of it at Gamescom or next year's E3. So there we go.
Yeah,
and I guess low points. Another low point. This is really my only other qualm with E3 this year. EA. Everybody's favorite, people. Everybody loves EA. I get that sports games are a major seller for them. I don't feel like people at E3 care about sports games. Because they did, you would be hearing people freaking out when they're like, Madden 16 has new sweat, technology, blah, 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 blah. People be like, oh my god, it's so real. No, people freak out about EA's bigger, more, not sports game projects, such as, Mirror's Edge and Battlefront, and even, to an extent, Plants vs. Zombies. People do not care about the sports at E3. Keep that somewhere else. Just announce them separately, and people will freak out on their own. I did not like it. And, the talk with Pele, that's not something, I get, he's a legend, whatever. He should not be at E3.
Yeah, it was really the wrong audience for Pele.
Yeah.
But it's so cool that they got him.
Yeah, I
got him for
cool
E3.
That they got him, but not at E3.
Give him a doc in the game. That would have been cool.
Yeah, give him do a Pele career mode. That would be cool. People, soccer fans would be like, oh man, that's going to be so cool, blah, blah, blah.
I wonder if they announced that and no one was paying attention. That would be fantastic.
I literally would not be surprised.
That was a low. That was a bit of a low.
A bit of a low.
A bit of a low. Yeah, it had some good stuff.
They did have some good stuff. I just meant their sports segments, because the other stuff they showed I was interested in.
Brother, I hear ya.
Yeah.
I hear ya. So am I doing a low?
Yeah, do a.
Oh, okay.
One more low.
This one's less of a low, more of a. Since EA, I think, was one of the bigger lows. Oh, wait, never mind. I just thought of my new low.
Okay.
It was going to be Sony didn't come up with any new hardware or anything like that really enhanced the experience. But really what I want to go for is Ubisoft showing 3 Tom Clancy games.
Oh.
Because I hated it. I hated it so much. And I just tried to block it out of my mind until just now. Why would they show off 3 games that look incredibly similar in tone and somewhat in gameplay? I can't fathom why
Tom Clancy's
they did
off.
that. That's what it was. And I was disappointed.
I'm not going to lie. I don't have any interest really in The Division, and I don't really have any interest in Rainbow Six Siege. But Wildlands, Ghost Recon Wildlands looks like my jam, and I'm going to buy that day one.
It'll probably be a really good game. And I'm not saying it won't be.
Yeah.
It's just, the whole concept of laying out a press conference is more than just, you got really good games in my eyes. You gotta put it together better than, hey, Tom Clancy, all in like an hour.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone needs that. And then most of the showings were just not good. Like Rainbow Six and Division with the crappy team chat.
Yeah, because nobody talks like that in game. I agree. I wasn't impressed with Siege last year when they showed it. They ended their press conference on that, and I wasn't impressed with it this year. And I know people that have played it, And, I mean, what they tell me, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean...
Do they like it?
They like it, I don't. Like, they explain it to me, and, like, usually with games, I'm open-minded. So, I'm just like, that doesn't sound fun. So, maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe I'll get my hands on it and, think it's a blast. But for now, it doesn't sound like my cup of tea.
Yeah, and I don't think Division looks that good. But I've not been interested in it.
I agree. There's actually a YouTube video out that is I haven't had the chance to watch it, but it's supposedly highlighting downgrades that the Division has went through. Like, it shows a 2013 showing of the game compared to the showing at this year's E3. I'm interested to go through that game to see.
Don't look at Twitter.
I'm not. No. I'm interested to go through that game and see or go through that video and see if it's. I was trying to find the video. If it is downgraded, because if it is, Ubisoft, you gotta stop doing that.
Well, I appreciate them doing it now.
I mean, true, I do appreciate them doing it now, as opposed to, hey, the game comes out and it looks like shit, guys. But I mean...
Yeah, it was going to happen. So I think it's hard to fault them for downgrading it. But it just now, it's not as good looking.
But I feel weird, because that doesn't happen to Far Cry. Far Cry 4 looked good, and at E3, and Far Cry 4 looked good when I played it.
It's true. That's true.
So what's the correlation? Like, get the Far Cry guys, make them your leaders, elect them as kings of Ubisoft, and let them work on everything. Because they can somehow fit all that, gorgeous graphical interface, whatever you want to call it, onto, a Blu-ray disc. So, give me that. Don't give me Watch Dogs looks like a really good PlayStation 2 game.
That's not accurate.
Watch Dogs looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
It looks like a pretty good PlayStation 3 game.
I wouldn't say it looks like a good PlayStation 3 game at all.
Let's move on.
Did you play Watch Dogs?
I don't need to play it, but I saw it and it didn't look that bad.
I played it.
I don't need to play it to see it.
Yeah, but
with my own two eyes.
Yeah, but I played it, and the way it plays also is a factor into that PlayStation 2 decision.
We said look, right?
Okay, well,
Okay.
I can change my rules. So last high point for me I would say this is my number one high point, just because of how cool it was Sony answering the demands of their consumers with Last Guardian opening the show, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Shenmue 3. I just thought, who would have thought, one, A, they'd ever happen, and B, all three of them would be at the same press conference in the same year, at the same event. It's just crazy. And the fact that Last Guardian got a release year, 2016, it's just cool to see. I'm excited to finally... when gamers get to play The Last Guardian, even if it plays not that good, it's going to be like a big moment. Because, it's like the Half-Life 3 of consoles, essentially. It just went missing. Nobody knew what happened to it, and then boom, it was there.
Yeah.
I mean...
So anyway, what?
Well, I was just going to ask you for your thoughts, but you were explaining.
Sony kind of just busted some real hardcore stuff out there, yang with those three announcements. I wasn't a big Shenmue. I wasn't excited about the Shenmue 3 news as other people were, but I think it's an obvious, notable announcement.
Yeah.
I think what stuck out for me though from the Sony conference maybe was the key third-party games that showed up on their stage. And not Microsoft's, I guess, is probably as important. And they got Battlefront, they got Call of Duty, they got... What else did they get? They got...
Destiny, but we knew that.
Well, yeah, they got Destiny. Which, I think that Destiny trailer looks like some dope stuff.
I didn't know it was like a full-on... Talking about... I can't believe we went from Last Guardian to Destiny, good lord.
We did it.
It's a full expansion. It's essentially adding a second campaign to the game from what I've been able to gather.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like
for $40, I would hope so.
Yeah, it's like it's $40.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's an expansion.
Yeah, so it's like a World of Warcraft-esque expansion, which is cool. I hope it gets people that still play Destiny what they want.
That's some harsh stuff you were saying there.
I know.
It made it sound real painful.
I know people that play Destiny. I played Destiny for a long time, so whatever. But yeah, the Shenmue, Final Fantasy VII stuff, Last Guardian stuff, just huge high point for me. I don't care for Shenmue just because first game came out in '99. I was 3/4, so I really didn't care that much. And then, so Shenmue 3, I knew it was a big announcement, but I don't really care.
I hear ya. I get that. Because as soon as I said the same thing.
Yeah.
So are we on to the last high point?
Yep. Your number. Oh, well, it doesn't have to be your number one. Just your last high point. What you want to highlight.
Battlefront.
Ooh, I'm a little surprised.
What do you think I was gonna say?
Not Battlefront.
That's not an answer. Battlefront has so many memories for me.
Yeah.
On PlayStation 2, I played the crap out of that. Battlefront 2, me and my brother, and this looks for much better, more of the same.
Yeah.
Looks like Battlefield mixed with Battlefront for the PlayStation 2
in
era.
A good way.
That's in a good way.
Not like a reskinned Battlefield.
No, that's exactly what I wanted. I was afraid that they were going to do a reskinned Battlefield, like you said, but instead we got something more nostalgic, and it still looks like it'll play so well for the new audience that's going to experience the game.
Yeah.
Since it's been how many years since that Battlefront 2 came out?
It's been a long time. I know me and my brother also played Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 religiously as kids, but as kids, like I was in elementary school, so had it been at least 8 years, probably. I could totally be wrong, but
yeah, I mean, that sounds. I think it could even be longer, maybe. Yeah, that game had so many good memories, and this looks again like I'm gonna be able to have those experiences in 2000. And is it coming out this year?
Yeah, it comes out November 17th.
Oh my goodness!
Comes out a week after Fallout, and Battlefront 2 came out in 2005. So
that's a long time.
10 years.
10 years. 10 years. A decade. I can't wait to experience it again. I would get that over Fallout. That's a shoot.
Ooh, I think Battlefront's gonna fall till Christmas for me.
I think it's gonna. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to maneuver that game's release date late in the game.
Which is weird because I didn't know it got a release date until one day I walked into the GameStop. They're like, "Hey, you wanna?" Or no, I saw a sign on the door that says Battlefront 11, 17, 15. I'm like, whoa. It is coming out this year, so.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm excited for it, don't get me wrong, but I'm also excited for Xenoblade, and I'm not getting that on day one either, so.
I mean, that's fair. Though, I don't know why you're that excited for Xenoblade.
It looks good.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah. I think I'm all done with my my highlights.
Any last words for E3?
It was a fun time. It was fun watching these conferences. A lot of them brought out some good stuff.
I would say everybody brought out good stuff. Just some people brought out more bad than good.
Yes, and that's disappointing. But next year, hope it's even better.
I'm thinking next year will be Nintendo new hardware. I wouldn't be surprised 2 years from now we're getting into Sony and Microsoft's new stuff.
That would feel short.
It would feel short. But there were rumors that this generation would be shorter for some reason, but we'll see, I guess.
I'm hoping not.
I'm hoping not either.
I mean, I have this PS4 here. I can't take a hit on this thing.
Yeah, I don't need a PlayStation 5 coming out 2 years from now, but
I don't got enough good games for this.
Yeah, where's Persona?
Come on.
Hopefully this year.
Hopefully this year.
But yeah, I think it was a fun E3. It was fun to watch live. E3 is always fun to watch live. I sound greedy, but I still wish we would have gotten Animal Crossing U. I felt like that was not as ridiculous as some other stuff I had on my list. So, but hopefully there's always next year. So I guess we'll see where we go from there.
Yes, sir, Bob.
So you can follow us on Twitter at @BelowAVGNerds. You can follow me on Twitter at TANNER1495. That's Tanner1495. And go to our WordPress, BelowAverageNerds.wordpress.com.
And you can follow me, Sam, at SammyJ_D on Twitter. And yeah, I think that'll do it.
Yep, fun E3 this year, and I'm already hyped for next year. Even though we still have so many game conferences this year to get through, but nothing quite beats E3. So,
except when it does.
Except Paris Game Week, and that's a shoot.
Dreams.
See you soon.